Hi and welcome back. So in this section we're going to be covering glutes. So quite often we get really tight in the glutes. We also sometimes are looking to try and reactivate through the glutes before we're going into some training or trying to stretch those glutes out after a lot of intensive training. So I'm going to cover 4 main exercises that will help to really release and stretch out those glutes and hopefully give you a bit of better mobility through the glute region. So the first one we're going to do is a modified version of a figure of 4. So we're going to take the chair, and from here, placing your hands on the chair, you're going to take the foot above the top of the left knee, and then from here we're going to sink the bottom all the way down until you find a place where you're comfortable and just holding that stretch. You'll feel this in the left glute particularly. You might also start to feel it coming across into the right glute, but predominantly it's in the left side here. Obviously I'm using a chair, but you could use a sideboard or like your kitchen surface. So holding it here nice and deep, we hold around sort of 15 to 20 seconds and then come back up. Obviously you can make this a little bit easier by not coming down so low, or make it harder by going a little bit deeper. So when I say harder, it's a bit of a deeper stretch and requires a little bit more balance. Okay, so that's your first stretch, that's your figure of 4. So you could commonly also see that one on the ground. The next stretch we're going to do is a stretch for your IT band. So I'm just going to take the chair away. And you're coming down to the floor. So onto the floor. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the hands onto the ground and we're going to look like we're doing effectively like a side plank. So take the left hand, you're going to bring the feet out to the side here, pressing up onto the side, and you can use that left hand for support. Take the left foot forward, and then from here we can reach up. You're going to bring the hip up nice and high and reach the arm overhead. As you do this, you're going to start to feel this stretch coming down the IT band here. You may again feel it in that glute, and as you reach over, a stretch into the side body as well. Try to lift the chest up as much as you can rather than collapse into the movement. So just holding it here, again 15 to 20 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, and then gently release and switch sides. So that is going into your IT band. The next one that we're going to do is going into a reverse cow pose. Now, the reason I'm going to you to do this one is just it's a little bit deeper than a figure of 4, which is commonly done on the floor, which I demonstrated earlier. So I'm going to show you from behind first. So from behind, you're going to lie onto your back, and from here, we're going to take the left leg over. Now, normally we're here for a figure of 4. All you're going to do is slide the legs right across. From here, take a nice deep inhale, and we're going to draw the knee up. As you draw the knee up, you're going to start to feel the stretch into both sides of the glutes here. But again, predominantly, you're going to probably feel it more in the left side. Taking the hands to the shins, or if this is too much, you could just take your hands to the back of the thigh and draw the legs in here. Alternatively, as I say, come up, grab hold of the shins, and when you're ready, gently release the back down, bringing the knees into the chest and hold. Taking a nice deep inhale and exhale. You can obviously intensify the stretch by drawing the legs away from each other or pulling the knees in a little bit closer towards the body. Holding that position here. I'm going to show you from the side as well. So from the side, we're bringing that leg across, drawing the knee in, and then sliding that leg across to make a nice little bow, as it were. And then again, taking the hands either underneath the thigh, or if you feel comfortable enough, reaching up, grabbing hold of the shins and rolling back. Hold here, deep inhale, and exhale. Now you can hold this pose for as long as it feels really comfortable for you. Sometimes it's just quite nice to hold that pose for a little bit longer than normal if it feels comfortable and you can feel the stretch really deepening and stretching out those glutes. Just from there, releasing down, and then in your own time coming back up. And then on your last one that I'm going to show you a modified version of a pigeon and pigeon pose. Now pigeon pose is commonly shown as a really good stretch coming into the glute region again and into hips, but that can sometimes feel quite difficult to get into. So I'm going to show you a modified version of this if that's too much for you. Commonly I get this with people who've got arthritis and such sort of similar sort of joint issues, and they really do struggle to get that pigeon pose. So this is just an alternative to this. So you're going to come up onto your bottom, bring your feet up nice and high, and then from here all you're doing with your knees, and you can just start with your hands behind you, you're just going to sink the legs over to one side, over to the other, and just find what feels good here, okay? So it's kind of just opening up and relaxing through the bottom. And then you bring the knees up, and then from here you're going to sink the knees over, and then coming up to seated like this. So we're just lifting the body up. We're going to take that left leg back, and the right foot comes forward. So now we've got this nice little square position here. Now the best way I can explain this is you're going to reach your body up nice and tall, and you're going to turn to face that leg opposite you, okay? So you're now going to aim to reach the body forward. Now for some people, just coming to here is enough. You don't want to come any lower than that, that's absolutely fine. For some, you can maybe bring it a little bit further. And sometimes that's just the goal, is just to come from a little bit of a higher position down to a lower position. Exactly the same with all the other stretches. We're aiming for between 15 to 20 seconds on each stretch, and this is just a really nice way to stretch out those glutes. Bringing it all the way back up. We're going to come over, and then you would switch sides. It's just simply slipping the knees back down the other side, drawing the right leg back this time, left leg forward, keeping the back up nice and tall, reaching up tall, turning the body before bringing the hands down. So again, as I said, you can either hold it here or walk it way down. For full pigeon, we're going to come into a plank position. So you're going to come into this plank, tucking the leg toes in, keep everything nice and strong. Take the right knee to the outside of the right wrist. Slide the back leg back as far as feels comfortable, and then holding this position, you're going to gently walk yourself up. Quite commonly with pigeon, people tend to just scoot straight down into that pigeon pose, but it's really nice if you can to try and bring the hands behind, maybe even further back for a little bit of a stretch into the back, extending through the back, and then take the hands forward in your own time. Now, quite commonly again with this, if people can get into this position but they're not quite able to keep the hips even, so i.e. they're kind of sinking upwards slightly, it's worth grabbing a block just to support the lower part of the bottom, and as you come forward that will keep the hips nice and even. Okay, so walking the body down nice and low, and again, some people this will be enough and that's absolutely fine. It may even just be on the forearms. Or you can use blocks, so you always have blocks available to you. So you can use a block and maybe just release the head to the block. Whatever feels good and feels like it's working for you. When you are in this position, wherever that may be, so if you're here, maybe supporting the head with your hands, or you're bringing the arms all the way out, regardless, whatever that position might be, just be mindful of your legs. If they start to feel a little bit achy, a bit crampy, anything like that, give your toes a little wiggle, and it's just a reminder that everything's okay and everything's moving the way it should. Just relax down, all the way down. Deep inhale, exhale. So you should be feeling a lovely stretch coming through the glutes up into the lower part of, the upper part of the legs. Okay, holding it here, opening up maybe into your abductors. Deep inhale. Exhale. Take your time to slowly walk your way all the way back up. Press your hands into the floor, tuck the toe in behind you, press into the back leg, lift the front leg up, and just give it a little wiggle. Sometimes it can feel a little bit numb, and then you would switch sides, going into the left side. So that's a couple of exercises that you can do to help stretch out and lengthen the glute muscles. The other exercise that you can do just to help to release and open up is a quick hip movement, which is simply through here. So coming into all fours, and we're just going to draw the knee up and out into little circles. So if you're ever needing to just find a little bit more movement through the hip, keeping everything nicely controlled, because as we know, obviously the hips connected into the glutes, it's well worth doing just to warm up that region if you're moving into this sort of area later on into your exercise or training, or just to generally loosen up, opening up through those hip circles. And again, repeating on the other side, about 10 each direction on each side. Anyway, take care. I hope this has helped, and I look forward to seeing you in the next instalment. Bye.